Hey, it's Brian and Rachel Goulet of the Goulet Pen Company and Ink Nouveau. We've got a new brand that we're going to introduce to you, something that we've never carried before. It is called Leuchtturm1917. It's a German company, if you couldn't tell by the name.
Family owned.
It's family owned, yeah. It's the journals themselves are actually made in Taiwan, so clear that up right off the bat. But there's several different types of notebooks, and we kind of wanted to give just like a brand overview because I think some of you out there have probably heard of this brand. I know it's gotten some buzz. If you're familiar with Moleskines at all, these are very similar to those, and I think that that's where they're going to get most compared.
I think the paper quality is a bit better. You know, obviously we like to stand behind the products we carry. So, but these definitely interested us, and a lot of you have asked us about them. So, so I'd go for it.
Yeah, the main draw for these notebooks is that they are a more affordable version of like the Rhodia web notebook and Quo Vadis Habana. The paper is not as good in these as they are in the Webby and the Habana. I'll just say that right off the bat.
But the price, I think, and the details make up the difference.
Right, exactly. So I think these notebooks will have a place for sure. As far as I'm concerned, I kind of put them like, you know, the paper quality, at least for fountain pens, above Moleskine, below Rhodia. Yeah. So it's kind of like right in there. And the price kind of reflects it too. So we'll go ahead and just give you a broad overview here. So
the main one is the hardcover notebooks.
Yeah.
And they come in 3 sizes. The small one's called the Pocket.
Yep,
so this is like a 3.5 by 5.5, roughly. Or sorry, 3.5 by 6.
Yeah, it's like an A6 size.
Yeah, roughly, close enough.
Somewhere thereabouts.
Pocket size.
Yeah.
And that
lots of different colors. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I was going to say that runs around $10. It does come in a lot of colors, as you can see here.
Yes.
They're mostly inlined. The black, the red, and the linen gray do come in blank and graph, and the black comes in dot as well. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and these colors are all kind of interesting. We just started carrying the Rhodia Rama. Those have some colors. Those colors are a little more saturated, a little more vibrant than some of these ones. But just briefly here, we can kind of cover the colors because the colors are roughly the same throughout the whole line of the colored notebooks. So you
lavender.
got lavender here, which is
kind of a purple.
Nice purple color. Yeah.
Cornflower blue.
That's nice. Light blue.
It's kind of turquoisey, but yeah, light blue.
Yeah, a little bit. Lime green, very punchy green.
Yep.
Nice bright green.
Pink.
Pink is what it is. Brown.
A nice chocolate brown.
Yeah, nice dark chocolate like Hershey brown. Taupe, which is gray with a little bit of a green tinge to it, I think.
Yeah, it's a typical taupe.
Yeah.
Caramel.
There's caramel, which is like a tan, kind of a honey color almost. And then white, which is interesting.
It's actually our first white notebook.
Yeah, so we've never had a white bound journal before.
A white notebook at all.
Yeah, I think you're right.
In any line.
I think you're right. So that's interesting.
That's kind of cool.
And these ones, the straps actually do match the notebook color themselves.
And then, as we mentioned, we have black, red, and then linen gray. It's actually more of a book linen material, so it's kind of nice. And these are all like I'd call them a leatherette cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those ones are what?
$10.
$10.
Yeah,
So
start at 10.
Not bad. And they come with how many pages? It's like, I forget. Off the top of my head.
It says on the front, it's 185 pages.
185 pages. So that's pretty good.
Yep. The next size up is called the large.
Yes.
Also, I've seen it as the medium. So large is a little misleading because it's not the largest.
It's not the largest.
It's more of a medium.
It is confusing.
This is like an A5.
Yeah. This is going to be close to your, large web notebook, large Habana, Moleskine, that kind of thing. It's like an A5 size.
Exactly.
These ones come with 249 pages.
Yeah.
So good number of pages.
You're getting a good number of pages.
Yeah.
The price is great, $14.
Yeah.
We'll go over all the details a little bit, but again, same
Right.
colors, same ruling options.
Right.
And these all have 80-gram paper. Now, the largest size here is called the Master. These are all the slims.
Rather masterful.
This is the Master. This is a slightly oversized A4. It also comes with a lot of pages, 233 pages.
Yes.
And the Masters have 100-gram paper. So 80 gram for the Pocket and the large, 100 gram for the Master. So the paper's going to hold up quite a bit better.
Yes.
It's pretty awesome.
A lot of paper.
And then there's
a lot of surface area.
Slim Master, which is the same size over round, but it has 121 pages. So as you can see, it's
about half.
Yeah, it's about half. So So the price point for these, 22 for the Slim Master and 28 for the Master.
Master?
Yeah.
The full Master. Yeah.
The big Master.
Okay.
So those are the hardcovers. And again, you got a bunch of ruling options. You have mostly lined, you have graph, blank, and in a couple of them have the dot option.
Yes.
So the next option are these Jottbooks. So these have, I'll take off the paper there, flexible cover. They're, little...
Similar to like the, Clairefontaine or Rhodia staple bounds, except they're not staple bound.
Exactly.
They're stitched and glued.
So they are going to lay flat. I'm not going to demonstrate it now, but these come in the 3 sizes as well, the pocket, the large, and the master. These come assorted. You'll have a choice of pastel, which are the lime, the light blue, or the lavender, or earth tones. You have your white, caramel, or black.
Right.
And
those we have to buy assorted. So we would love to be able to offer those in the individual colors, but unfortunately we can only buy them in packs. So it makes it really, really difficult for us to stock individual colors. So
we'll honor special requests if we can. Otherwise, just, you'll be choosing between those 2 sets of colors. And these come in graph and lined in the 3 sizes I mentioned, and they come with 60 pages each. So a little smaller than the hardcovers, but the price is great. $4, $6, and $12. So pretty comparable to something you get with Clairefontaine or the staple bound, except these are stitched and glued.
Not stapled, yeah.
Yeah, not stapled. Then we kind of dabbled in these a little bit. Softcover. So these have...
Yeah, they're interesting.
Softcover.
They're similar to the hardcover, except, well, the cover is soft. It's very flexible. Very, very... I mean, these are not, like, super rigid. I mean, they have a little bit of flexibility to them.
Yeah.
But not like these ones. These ones are quite flexible.
Quite flexible.
Still got the pocket in the back and everything.
They have all the same features, just with the flexible cover. So these are 2 sizes, the pocket and the large. They have less pages than the hardcover. But again, you get the flexibility with it, so that's kind of cool. Yeah. And these are $9 and $12. Finally, we have some little accessories.
Little doodads here.
Do you have one that's out? Oh, I do.
One. Yeah, I have one in a book. These are little pen loops. They're adhesive pen loops that stick into your book.
Basically, their argument is you should choose whether you have one or not, if you want one or not.
Right.
You can get them in different colors. So that's kind of neat, and it's a little adhesive, sticks in the back cover of the book. Pretty generous elastic, so it looks really small, like it would only hold a pencil, but you can put a pretty decent fountain pen in there.
You can. I found that it's easiest to fit pens that have a taper to the end of them in there because, I mean, it'll stretch a really good amount, but if you're trying to fit something like a Lamy All-Star or something like that with a really blunt end on it, it makes it kind of hard to get in here. It'll fit. Just makes it kind of hard to get in.
I'm sure after a while it'll loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, probably. But I imagine it was made more for, gel pens and pencils and that kind of thing. But, if you're into some of the slimmer fountain pens, I'm sure you can take use of that.
So I want to dive into the details?
Yeah, we're going to change views here and show you some of the details, but this is just kind of the general overview of the different sizes. Okay, these are the Jottbooks. It's not really a whole lot to them. They're, thin. Pretty thin there. Gives you some perspective, but here's the 3 different sizes. So you got the pocket, the large, and is it called the Master?
Yep, it's called the Master.
Master. Okay. I couldn't remember if the Jottbook was called the Master too.
Also the A4. The Jottbook's a little closer to an A4, whereas the Master's oversized.
Okay.
So,
That's why I was confused, because it says A4 down there. One thing I did want to point out is that they have these little designations on them. It's got all the information, here where it describes what it is. But down here it says bleed proof or ink proof. That's kind of a misleading term, I guess. We've already talked to them about it. They don't deal too much in fountain pens, to be quite honest. So, we do deal a lot in fountain pens. And whenever you have a term like ink proof or bleed proof, fountain pen ink really kind of pushes the limits as far as what you can expect your paper to do. So they, I think, were basing it more on ballpoints and gel pens and that kind of thing. And we have kind of a higher standard for
Well, it's funny because it does have a fountain pen nib pictured. But
Right.
either way, we're talking to them about, and we're going to get to the paper quality in just a little bit. But real quick, we just want to run over the features. All of them have a table of contents in the front. And then each page has a date and a number. So pretty cool. It has numbered pages. I guess if you're creating your table of contents later on, then you know what you're referring to.
Exactly.
So has a, there's your numbered pages. There's 60. In the back, they give you some stickers. So these are for using for the cover for the binding. So if you have multiple notebooks, you can, record what's in them.
Right. The Jottbooks have less extra details than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
So we'll get more into
So
what
pretty
they
basic.
have.
Oh, and then a space for a name and the address in the front. I missed that.
Right.
So
This is all off-white paper. It's not bright white. It's not quite as yellow as the Rhodia paper in the web notebook. It's nice kind of in between.
So that's the Jottbook. Again, the two small sizes have 80 gram paper. The large has 100 gram paper.
Yep.
All right, moving on to the hardcovers.
Hardcovers. Here we go. Here's a bunch of hardcovers. The linen gray I wanted to show just because it's kind of a different material than all the other ones. It is a linen material. It's definitely got like a texture to it. It's unique to this color. So the gray is the only one that's available in this like kind
Costs
of texture.
a little bit more.
Yeah, but it is pretty cool. I like it. The other ones are, all kind of a similar finish to them. Different color options depending on the rulings and stuff. The lined versions have the most options as far as color goes. But all
Talk
of
about
the
some features.
yeah, okay. So these have a little more features. The Jottbook, they're thinner, cheaper. They're
More basic.
not as robust. But these ones have kind of a lot going on. So you still got the same name and address here, like you had on the Jottbook.
It's
got a little sign
thank you card. Got a little brochure in there.
Yeah, it's got a little explanation of the the history and all that kind of stuff in here. So neat little backstory to it. The table of contents, you've got that going on here. Several pages, I believe.
3 pages.
Got some testing we did, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Same numbered pages with the date.
Yep, number pages.
So you get a whole bunch.
keep on scrolling
Towards
back.
the end, you get a couple perforated pages.
Yep.
So the last 8 pages or so are perforated.
Yeah.
So if that's something that's important to you,
Yep.
there
Just
you
makes it so
go.
you can tear it out if you have notes that you want to tear out. And then on the hardcover versions, they have stickers for the front and back covers, but they also have these really skinny stickers that are made to stick onto the binding. So if you have several different notebooks that are all being stored on a bookshelf, you can keep tabs on what they are at a glance without having to actually pull the notebook out.
And similar to Webbies and Habanas, you have a pocket in
Back
the back.
pocket.
So store your loose sheets or cards or whatever.
And the straps all match the different colors. The straps of these are pretty good. They're not loosey-goosey. They're
There's
relatively
a,
tight. They're not super tight, but they're definitely firm. And as far as how they hold up over time, I'm not 100% sure because we haven't really tested them, but I'm sure some of you who might have been using these notebooks for a long time can give us an idea of that.
And the matching ribbon marker.
Yep.
So again, 2 small sizes of 80 gram paper. We'll cover the masters real quick.
Well, we've got different rulings here. I wanted to just show the
okay.
different rulings. So, when you've got, this is a blank notebook. So it's still got the same thing, the name and address, and still has a table of contents in here, which is lined. By the way, all of the lines are 5 millimeter, right?
Almost all.
Almost all. With the different sizes, except for the large master, and we'll get to that in a second. But all the pages are still numbered on the blank ones. I know some people aren't going to be so crazy about that, because I know some people who like blank notebooks are particular about it, want to be completely blank. But it's got numbers on the bottom. They're gray.
Subtle.
They're subtle. Hopefully, it won't be a deal breaker for you. But if it is, there's other notebooks out there like the Rhodias and stuff that don't have numbers on them. And then you got the same sticker thing going on here, the same inner back pocket, all that good stuff. Okay.
That's the blank.
Yep. Now the master. So we've got the slim master and then the master, as Rachel wants to call it. So this is a closer up idea of the thickness between the two. So just to give you some perspective here is a normal hardcover.
Which is still pretty robust.
Still pretty robust compared to the
Versus
master.
a Jottbook.
And there's a Jottbook. Okay, so that gives you some perspective about the overall thickness. The slim master is going to be basically like the hardcover, except larger in size. And then the full-on master is just a big mamma jamma, behemoth of a notebook.
Yeah. That's going to be fun to ship.
Yes. So this got a lot of the same details, you know, name and address, cards, all that fun stuff. Table of contents, which is lined. And then this particular notebook is a dot grid. So you can kind of see it in the video here.
It's
but
very subtle.
very subtle gray dots.
Yeah.
You know, small gray dots, not real super obvious. These are like the Rhodia ones are now. Rhodia is actually in the process of changing their dots from kind of a bluish color to a gray color.
The dots are only available currently in the black hardcover notebooks. So maybe
Right.
in the future they'll expand. Dot grid seems to be a relatively new thing in paper.
Right.
The last couple years I've seen a lot of those come out.
And I think Leuchtturm is probably a company that is a little more open to taking feedback than some of the larger companies like Moleskine, where you know, they'll likely listen to what people want and then provide those things. That's why they do all these extra little details. So you still got the stickers, you know, in the back here, you know, large pocket, and so on.
Oh, real quick, I want to go back to the Jottbook real quick. I forgot a detail. In the Jottbook, almost half of the pages are perforated. So the front half, they are not perforated, but when you get to the back half, they are. I think it's something like 28 out of the 60 pages are perforated.
Oh,
Something like that. So, you know, the hardcover, the last 8 pages are perforated. The Jottbook's about half of them. So.
Okay, there you go, something to point out. We're not going to cover like every single detail between all these different ones. There are a lot of subtle differences between different sizes and different options of notebooks and things like that.
Everything will be on our website.
Everything will be on our website. We've been pretty meticulous about tracking all this stuff, but it is a lot of stuff to have to remember in a video and to try and cover at once. Okay, this is the large lined master, and it's the reason we're showing you this one specifically is because it has a larger ruling. So same table of contents and all that stuff.
This is, I believe, 8.5.
It's 8.5 millimeters, so that's pretty good size.
Everything else is 5 millimeters. This particular one, the large master, is 8.5.
And the other difference of just about this one is that the lines don't go all the way to the edge. It's got kind of a margin here, which I'm not sure if any of the other notebooks even have that.
No, I don't believe so.
So that's something kind of unique to the master as well.
Versus here's your large.
Yeah.
So the lines
So
go
those
all
are
the
all
way
the
to
way
the
to the edge.
end.
So I don't know if that really matters to you, but it is something kind of different to point out. And, you know, again, stickers.
And it is oversized so that the pocket can fit a full A4 size sheet. So they designed it to be oversized so you can fit full-size sheets in there. So that's kind of cool. You don't have to fold them in half or anything.
Yep, there you go. And that basically kind of covers most of the features in general that you're going to see with all these different notebooks. You know, like I said, the details are going to vary from one notebook to another, and we're going to do our best to try and have those details nailed out on gouletpens.com. All right, that should give you a pretty good idea of what's going on with the Leuchtturm 1917 line. You know, it's a lot of stuff to cover. I'm sure you're going to have some questions, and that's totally okay. You can just post here in the comments or shoot us an email. Or actually, the best thing, if you have questions about the details, would be to visit our website.
Yep.
But, you know, we'd love to get some feedback if you've used these before, or if you have any tips or advice about, you know, the best pens to use, best inks to use, that kind of thing. That would be great. I think that these notebooks are something that is going to become pretty valuable to the fountain pen community.
Yeah.
It's also something that I think a lot of ballpoint and gel pen users could also take advantage of.
I would call it an introduction to good paper.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good stepping stone.
Exactly. It's not meant to be the absolute best for all purposes,
And the
but
price
I think
reflects that.
I think it serves a lot of really good purposes. So we're excited about it. We'd love to hear your thoughts too. Thanks so much for spending time with us here, learning about it, and right on.